Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, today I'm going to share with you some facts and figures which will truly blow your mind and change the way in which you view the problems the Ummah is facing today. We are now in the blessed month of Ramadan, the month of the Quran and also known as the month of unity. We see that in this blessed month, Muslims express their fraternity, that they are but one single body and an ummah which cannot be separated by geographic borders or ethnic and nationalist diversities. After all, it was Islam which unified the peoples of three continents under the banner of La ilaha illallah. It was the magnificent Islam that united the Arabs, Romans, Persians and Abyssinians into one unique brotherhood and combined the strength and capability of the Ummah. And indeed, brothers and sisters, in the month of Ramadan we witness this unity, even though the enemies of Islam have done all they can to disunite and divide the Ummah. So history testifies that when the Muslims were united under one banner, acting as one unit and steadfast on their deen, they were able to overcome all odds. However, brothers and sisters, why is it that when we think of the Muslim world today, we think of an ummah which is divided and incapable of changing its condition, and that it is way behind the rest of the world? Many point out to countries in the Arab world such as Iraq, Syria and Libya, and point out that the Arab world is finished, and some even suggest that salvation for the Ummah will come from non-Arab countries such as Turkey and Pakistan. However, brothers and sisters, the question we must ask ourselves is, are these claims actually true? Are Muslims and their lands inferior to the rest of the world? Is the Arab world finished? Does it no longer have the capability to rid itself of its problems and once again lead the Ummah? The reality is far from this. One of the mistakes we make when we observe the situation and capability of the Ummah, especially the Arab world, is that we divide the Muslims along nationalistic lines which were drawn in the sand by the colonialists via the Sykes-Picot Accord. However, is this the way we should view the Muslim lands? Of course it isn't. In fact, if we were to focus on the Arab lands, we should view them as being one block stretching all the way to Mauritania in the west, made up of people who have one language, one culture and one Islam. Now, if we begin to view the Arab lands as being one block, then this means that its people, its land, its resources and its military might is one. Subhanallah, if we were to look at this matter in this way, we build a completely different view of what is possible and what isn't. We abandon the defeatist mentality that many of us carry and become aware of the true nature of the Ummah's capability, something which is deliberately being hidden from us. To further illustrate my point, I want to share with you some facts and figures which will blow your minds and clearly demonstrate the power and capability of the Ummah, in particular the Arab lands. Firstly, I'd like to point out that the Arab region alone of the Muslim lands totals 13.3 million square kilometers, which is 9.6% of the world's surface. Its inhabitants are 370 million, which is 5.7% of the world population. The workforce of the Arab world is 130 million according to the Arab Monetary Fund's report of 2013. According to a report by AskWA, the Arab region produced 25.1 million barrels of crude oil per day in 2018, which is equal to 25.7% of world production. The Arab region possesses 50% of the world's oil reserves and 27.5% of the world's natural gas reserves. Qatar is one of the leading gas producers and exporters, followed by Saudi and Algeria. These three countries produced 8.7% of the world's production in 2019. As for minerals, they include steel, zinc, copper and coal, in addition to phosphate in some Arab countries. The Arab countries possess 76% of the world reserves of phosphate in addition to 18% of the sulfur reserves. These countries offer the world about 38.5 million tons of iron, not to mention the huge reserves of iron totaling tens of millions of tons, and the 200 million tons of raw copper, gold, lead, zinc, uranium, which is used in the manufacture of microchips, in addition to several other minerals and metallic resources. As for agriculture, Sudan alone has an agricultural potential that would easily secure the needs of the entire Arab world if it was soundly exploited. As for the geographical location, all the Arab countries overlook the sea and their coastlines total 23,000 kilometers, overlooking the Arabian Sea, the Arabian Gulf, the Red Sea, the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Ocean. This enables the Arab countries to control navigation and the world trade routes, especially the Strait of Hormuz and the Suez Canal represent the most important maritime passages that have a direct impact on trade and energy supplies in the world. In terms of military power, the armed forces in the Arab countries total 2.3 million regular soldiers and 3.5 million reservists. And in terms of weapons, the Air Force alone possesses 5,000 jet fighters, which means the Arab countries are classed second after the US, who has 14,000 jet fighters. The Arab countries' armed forces possess 1,100 warships, which places them in the lead among the armies of the world. They also possess about 18,000 tanks, exceeding Russia, who has 15,000. As for the budget allocated to these forces, it nears 123 billion US dollars, which places the Arab armies in third place behind America and China. Subhanallah, brothers and sisters. I'm sure that you would agree that the facts and figures which I have highlighted prove that extreme poverty, corruption, displacement, killing and devastation from which the region is suffering is not because the Arab lands are lacking in terms of riches and natural resources, or even human resources, but rather because of the collaborating treacherous rulers who the Kafir colonialist West appointed to oppress the Muslims, deprive them of these resources and plunder their riches in order to weaken them and prevent them from recovering their leading position among other nations. And it's important to note that I've only highlighted the capability of the Arab lands. Imagine if we added to these resources and forces the riches of the other Islamic countries such as Turkey, Pakistan, Malaysia and Indonesia. Subhanallah. So what we clearly see today, brothers and sisters, is that the Ummah is united on a spiritual level and on an emotional level, and we clearly witness this in the month of Ramadan. However, the problem is due to the absence of political unity in the Ummah. If the Ummah was politically united, this would mean that their lands, their resources, their strength, their might would be united, and they would be ruled by one single sincere ruler, and he would be protecting the Ummah and they would be fighting from behind him. So the next time you hear that the Muslims are weak, that the Muslims are divided, that the Muslims are incapable of sorting their problems out, that the Arab world is finished, then we should point out all the facts that I have mentioned, that in fact the Ummah, and especially the Arab world, which is so important due to the Arabic language, that their landmass is great, that we have the most strategic areas in the world, that we have a huge military, that we have all these resources at our disposal. But the only way we can take advantage of all this strength, brothers and sisters, is if we stop thinking about the Ummah along nationalistic lines and we think of the Ummah as one block, its resources as one, its deen is one, and its objective is one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.